Ow.
Morning.
Morning. Mr. Marker?
Yes, that's right.
I apologize for sitting on your doorstep.
Yeah, I was working rather late last night.
I have an appointment in town at 11 and I wanted to see you before the weekend.
Yeah.
My name is Mrs. Coleman.
How do you do, Mrs. Coleman? Won't you sit down?
Chilly morning.
Yeah.
You're new here.
Relatively. Nearly 4 months now.
An unusual occupation.
It has its moments.
Are your services available at the moment, Mr. Marker?
Well, again, relatively. I am working on a couple of cases.
Oh, dear.
We're just tying up loose ends.
I think it would need your undivided attention.
Oh, I'm sure that could be arranged.
3 weeks ago, to the day, in fact, my son, Peter, killed himself.
Oh, dear.
The coroner's verdict was that the balance of his mind was disturbed.
I'm sorry.
Let me stress at once that I am not questioning the verdict. The verdict was quite in order.
Had your son been ill?
I suppose it must follow that any individual who takes his or her own life must be in need of medical or social assistance.
How old was he?
23.
Your only son?
He had a brother, Martin. He's 30.
In what way did you think I might help?
Suicide is the most absolute action open to any of us. Quite simply, Mr. Marker, I need an objective opinion based on inquiry.
I don't quite understand.
My son's death has been a great shock to me.
You mean there was no indication, no signs of...
Had I been aware of his intentions, I can assure you, Mr. Marker, that we would never have met.
Yeah, I'm sorry I put that badly.
Peter had his problems. We all have, but we shared them. Most of them.
Did he live at home?
No, Mr. Marker. Peter, since he was a child, was fiercely independent, but we had I still think, a very positive, shared attitude.
He didn't leave a note or anything?
Nothing.
Mrs. Coleman, I know it's hard for anyone to accept that someone they love has committed suicide.
Oh, I accept it. My problem is that I don't understand it.
But didn't he have any friends?
Yes, of course he had friends.
Well, surely they must know something about his state of mind. If he
I
talked to
need
any
an
of them.
intelligent interrogator, Mr. Marker, who can ask questions objectively. People, friends, family, will talk to you. They tend to want to spare my feelings. Understandable, but misplaced.
Well, Mrs. Coleman, I honestly don't think I'm the sort of person who's...
Do you find the case
confident
uninteresting?
Oh, no, not at all.
Well, I'm sure we could come to a financial arrangement.
It isn't that. Mrs. Coleman, I deal in facts, credit checks, divorce information, where so-and-so was at 7:30 on Friday night. Tedious, banal facts.
And that is exactly what I want, Mr. Marker. Facts. Will you help me? Please.
Well, I shall need some basic information.
A brief biography of Peter's life. A list of names and addresses of people who knew him well. If I can be of any help, please phone. Or come and see me.
Suppose I get nowhere.
Anything will help. Thank you.
Coleman. H-I-D. Coleman. Peter Arnold. I remember this one. 7th floor of a new office building, Slough.
Died straight away, did he?
Well, 60 feet, onto scaffolding.
Any witnesses?
No. Boy in a newspaper run found him Saturday morning. Time of death, place around midnight Friday.
No note.
Nothing. Yeah, that's how he was. No personal effects. No wallet, no money. Not so much as a handkerchief.
Odd.
You see some of them. We had a vicar, full motorcycle outfit. Crash hat, black leather. Gloves, boots, the lot.
If there was nothing on the boy, how was he identified?
One of the police inspectors recognized him. Too much attic work. It's about the size of it.
Student, was he?
Postgraduate, Sussex, I think. Yes, Sussex.
Would it be possible for me to have 10 minutes going through that?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Are you working for the family?
The mother.
Forget it, old man. Don't waste your time.
Well, what do you mean?
We're always getting them. Students, study, swat, stuff their brains, then one day, bang. 7 stories onto scaffolding.
Simple as that, eh?
Well, he's dead. No inquiry is going to bring him back. Just 10 minutes, Mr. Marker. Oh, a touch of irony. It might amuse you. The office building the lad jumped off. It was built by the Coolman Construction Company.
Mr. Coolman?
Yes?
My name's Marker.
Do you have an appointment?
No.
Miss Wright?
She isn't there.
You'll have to make an appointment, Mr.
Marker. I'm a private inquiry agent.
What?
I'm working for your mother.
I don't understand.
Concerning your brother's death.
It's most inconvenient at the moment.
I won't keep you a minute.
I'm extremely busy, Mr. Marker.
Can I get your mother on the phone? She'll tell you.
You should really talk to my uncle.
Oh, why?
Well, he's head of the firm.
But you're the one I want to talk to, Mr. Coolman.
Well, I don't understand why.
When did you last see your brother?
Six months ago.
Oh.
Well, I don't
Was
know.
that during one of his vacations?
No. Oh, my mother didn't tell you?
Tell me what?
Oh, that he opted out of university? Slung it all in, quit.
Any idea why? Where did he go? What did he do?
I don't know.
Was it something that happened at university made him quit?
I've no idea.
What was he studying?
Experimental psychology.
Did he have any emotional involvement?
Well, there was one years ago. I never met her.
A happy person, was he?
He had his ups and downs.
You work for your uncle, do you?
With my uncle.
Ah, his assistant. Your brother wasn't interested in the family business?
No.
Was your father disappointed?
My father
in
is dead.
What about your uncle?
Peter and he didn't get on.
Ah, I'd like to talk to your uncle.
Well, you can't at the moment. He's in Holland.
What was your brother's financial situation?
Well, my father left some money for Peter's education.
You're older than he was, aren't you?
Yes, 7 years older. Why?
Did you get on?
We lived in different worlds. I always envied his intellect, and he despised my, or shall we say, my business acumen.
What about your mother?
My mother?
Or did she take sides?
My mother was wrong to come to you.
Oh, perhaps.
Peter is dead, and nothing can change that.
Haven't you got any theories as to why he's dead?
None.
Or why he chose one of your developments to do it from?
There's no significance in that.
You don't think there is?
I'm afraid I cannot continue this. I'm expecting a client very shortly.
Next time I'll make an appointment.
Get me Mr. Kuhlmann in Rotterdam, please.
So who's looking after the shop then?
Oh, I don't think we're missing much trade today.
How do you know that some rich American won't come along and want to buy that Ming jug?
What Ming jug?
Oh, the one in the window, the blue and red one.
Ming? That's Mason's ironstone. Well, I'm glad to see you're keeping my plant alive anyway.
So, to what do I owe the pleasure?
Did I see Mrs. Kuhlmann leave here this morning?
You did?
I thought so.
Right, you know.
Well, I knew her son.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that he...
Yes.
He was a strange boy. Gentle, but distant. He could be very funny, mimic people. We all thought he'd go on the stage.
Did you know the father?
Very slightly. Well, he died about 5 years ago. He was a very clever businessman. Jewish.
So Mrs. Kuhlmann and the uncle carry on the business, do they?
Well, not Mrs. Kuhlmann.
No, why not?
Mrs. Kuhlmann's a psychologist.
I never knew that.
Well, actually, she's quite famous. She's a specialist with subnormal children.
Fancy that. And Peter studied psychology.
She's a therapy centre up in town somewhere. Are you working for her?
Yes, I am.
Is it anything to do with Peter's death?
Yep.
I was absolutely shocked when I heard. I mean, he was so nice.
Do you know if he had any girlfriends?
Well, I only knew one, Caroline Stanford. She went to my school, actually. She was a prefect.
Caroline Stanford.
They were engaged for a while.
You wouldn't happen to know where she's living now, I suppose?
She married a dentist.
It's 5 years ago, Mr. Marker.
You and he were engaged, weren't you?
Only for a few weeks.
How long did you know each other?
Can't remember exactly.
Well, months, years?
Yeah, bit more maybe.
How did you meet him?
Kids. Demolition experts. Look at the time. The eldest has just started nursery school. He comes out about 3:30.
Do you have any contact with him over the past, say, couple of years?
I'm a married woman, Mr. Marker. Haven't seen or heard from Peter since... Well, it's all in the past and best left there. I'm sorry, I know how uncaring that must sound, but I'm a married woman with 2 kids. Really, I can't help you.
Mrs. Kuhlmann gave me a list. Your name wasn't on it. I wonder why.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, why not?
She resented me.
Did she?
She'd have resented anybody.
She dominated him, did she?
Manipulated's a better word. Well, you've met her. I suppose she was charm itself.
Oh, well, she's very unhappy.
She deserved to be. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
How did you meet him?
You'll think it's funny.
Well, try me.
Well, there's a local natural history group. I used to draw a bit in those days. Peter was doing a study of a pair of kingfishers that were nesting down by the river.
Oh, was that his hobby, ornithology?
Oh, more than a hobby. He built a hide. He'd spend hours down there, making notes, taking photographs. It was the only place she couldn't get at him.
And you really wanted to marry him, did you?
Well, of course I did.
What happened, Mrs. Kuhlmann?
Her. And university.
How do you mean?
We didn't want to go.
Did he say that?
Well, not in so many words, but I knew. He wasn't interested in psychology. She kept on and on at him till he gave in. He wanted to write a book about the kingfishers. He was always talking about it. Away from her, he was a different person. He got offered a job in a bird sanctuary in Scotland. The day he told me about it, I thought he was going to burst with excitement. If she'd only let him do what he really wanted, he'd still be alive.
That is just not true, Mr. Marker.
But you knew about the bird sanctuary job?
Peter was always taking things up. The bird fad lasted longer than most. I arranged for the offer of a position at the Kirrimure Sanctuary through a very old friend. I encouraged Peter to go up there, even for a few months, to see if it was what he really wanted. Ice?
Thanks. Why did he break off the engagement?
Well, frankly, Caroline bored him. That is simply the truth. I was delighted when he first told me about her, but as the weeks went by, I saw a familiar pattern emerging. He had an extremely high IQ and a voracious intellectual appetite. Once his curiosity had exhausted a subject, he moved on. Unfortunately, emotional involvements can't be quite so easily abandoned. I can assure you, Mr. Marker, that had it not been for my intervention, Caroline would have been hurt a great deal more than she was. I'm so very sorry that she feels resentful.
Why wasn't her name on your list?
It was nearly 6 years ago. I didn't think she was important.
Well, she was engaged to him.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'd simply forgotten. I don't know why.
Why didn't you tell me you were a psychologist?
I didn't think it was relevant.
Oh, that's not true, is it? You must have known I'd find out.
I wanted to present the problem to you in its simplest form, uncomplicated by side issues.
You want me to find a motive for your son's suicide? I honestly don't think I can help you.
Why not?
Well, after all...
Actually, you have already.
Well, how?
By challenging my honesty.
Well, some of the answers could be painful, like Caroline what's-her-name.
Yeah, I'm quite aware of that.
Would you still want to go on?
You don't?
Well, I'm not sure.
Why not?
I normally work in very prosaic fields.
This is a bit rich for you? You sense emotional pitfalls?
I feel a bit like a doctor getting hung up over one of his patients.
The decision rests with you, Mr. Marker.
Marker?
What?
My name is Coleman.
So?
Peter's uncle.
I thought you were in Holland.
Well, obviously I'm back. Get in, please. I think we've got things to talk about.
Have we?
Look, I've come straight from the airport to see you.
Better come in then, hadn't you?
I have a proposition.
Sit down.
I want to be adult about this business.
What business would that be, Mr. Coleman?
Now, don't try and play that game with me.
Mr. Coleman, I'm glad you came to see me because there are one or two things I wanted to ask you about, but aren't we starting off on the wrong foot?
Yes, perhaps we are. Look, I'm extremely concerned that this thing shouldn't get out of hand.
By this thing, I presume you mean my inquiry into your nephew's suicide.
The boy's dead. You're not helping anyone, least of all Helen.
Oh, I've just come from Mrs. Coleman. She seems to think I am.
She's upset.
Yeah, that's a rather thin word for it, I'd say.
Peter meant something very particular to her.
Yeah, most sons do, to their mothers.
The relationship between them was unusually close, that's what I mean. And I don't think she wants the truth.
Will you tell me, then, Mr. Coleman, just what the truth is?
Peter always was strange.
How do you mean strange?
A problem.
All right, but why did he jump to his death from that building?
He was insane.
Is that your diagnosis or a psychiatrist's?
What else can it mean? Why, the balance of the mind was disturbed.
Why was the balance of his mind disturbed? That's what I'm trying to find out. And why, from that building, is there some special significance in that?
How much? 100? 150? 2?
What a lot of money.
Well,
Straight bribe, is it?
Forget that you ever heard the boy's name. Drop the inquiry, make some excuse.
She'll only go to somebody else.
I don't think so.
You seem awfully concerned, Mr. Coleman. I wonder why.
This is a family matter. All right. Yes or no?
Sorry. Good night, Mr. Coleman.
Think about it.
I'm very tired.
I'll make it 300, and don't tell me you couldn't use it.
You really don't understand, do you?
I can make trouble for you. I can put you right in the lion's mouth.
I was wondering when the threats were going to start.
You're a fool, Marker.
Oh, that could very well be. But I do get a decent night's sleep.
I know what I'm doing.
Do you know why you're doing it?
Geoffrey, I really don't think you would understand.
I sometimes think you despise me, Martin, and the business as much as Peter did.
Peter didn't despise, he rejected it.
You were responsible for that attitude.
You're absurdly simplistic, Geoffrey. Of course I was partly responsible for his attitudes, but he had a mind of his own.
Helen, I want you to terminate this inquiry. Go away, take a holiday. But I don't think you should become involved with people like Marker.
I had a phone call from him just before you arrived.
Oh?
I gather you've been to see him.
I thought I should.
Isn't that a bit presumptuous?
I consider myself responsible for you, Helen.
Oh, really? Don't be so pompous, Jeff.
And you stop being the clever woman for a while, will you?
Is that what you think of me?
No, of course not. I'm sorry. Look, I think you're extremely unwise in employing a man like Marker to pry around.
Exactly why do you think so?
I'm sorry to say this, but neither Martin or I were completely surprised by what happened.
What do you mean?
I'm very sorry. It's true. You're a psychologist. You should have been aware of the gradual deterioration in Peter's health. That boy needed help.
How dare you?
Ellen, he was ill.
You have a problem, Geoffrey. Anything you can't understand, you destroy.
And there's something you appear not to understand.
And what is that?
The reason why he killed himself.
And that's exactly why I hired Marker.
It's simple. You don't need Marker. It was Ben, of course.
His father's been dead for 5 years, Geoffrey.
Not in Peter's mind. Have you never thought why he chose the Slough project to jump from?
Yes.
Well then?
But I deny your deduction.
Oh, what a stubborn woman you are, Helen.
First you accuse me of alienating Peter from the business. Now you tell me that it was an act of resentment against his dead father. Was that my influence too?
I don't say...
In effect, you're telling me that I was responsible. You realize that, don't you?
Helen, I want only that you shouldn't get hurt. But apparently you find it extremely difficult to accept.
The things you've said are very wounding.
Look, this chap Marker, what the hell can he do but stir things up? I had to leave a very important meeting in Holland to sort this out.
I don't understand you. What are you really afraid of?
I don't want that inquiry to continue.
Why not?
I've already explained.
No. You've suggested certain reasons which I don't find valid.
You're not going to do as I ask?
I'm late. I'm sorry. You'll have to excuse me.
Helen, if I don't get your sensible cooperation, I shall have to use my own judgment and deal with the situation.
I do hope I didn't hear that remark aright.
And I hope you did. Goodbye.
What happened?
She's being awkward.
You don't think she knows?
I'm sure she doesn't. Yet.
What are we going to do?
I think of something. Has Creeley phoned?
Not yet.
Damn that man, Marker.
Good morning. I wanted to talk to somebody about the 1100.
Well, we got lots. Which one?
Oh, I don't know. Your fellow would know. Fellow with glasses, dark curly hair.
Well, yeah, Mr. Creeley.
Oh, the governor?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, nice place.
It's not bad.
Does he own it?
Yeah, that's right. Well, he's away in a minute. Can I get him to phone you?
Sorry, what's that?
At the car.
Oh, no, it's all right. I'll come back this afternoon.
See yourself.
Bye.
Yes. Put him through. What did you find? You're sure? Good, good. Where does he live? Find out. I want to know every step he takes.
Okay. Ah, Mrs. Corman. Yes, I phoned you at home because I haven't got your London number. Would you? Thank you. Yes, got that. I'll tell you why I phoned. Martin told me that Peter had quit university, but he couldn't tell me where he'd gone, where he'd lived. Do you know? New Mill Farm, White Waltham. Where's that near? Oh, didn't you? Oh. Oh, look, one thing more. Do you know a man called Creeley? Oh, about 40-ish, dark curly hair, glasses, runs a garage in Slough. Oh, never mind. Yes, I'll be in touch. Goodbye.
Catching up on the paperwork?
Yes, that's why I wanted you to come in. Somebody was in here this morning. I'm trying to find out what he might have been interested in.
What, somebody broke in?
Yes. It's amazing what you can do to a door with a tile lever.
Gracious.
Thank you. Well, and how is the world treating you?
Extremely well, thank you.
Looking at you, I can see why.
Compliments apart, there was some question of a question.
So there was. You've lived around here all your life, haven't you?
Well, Maidenhead and roundabout.
What about Slough?
I know it.
Ah.
What's the problem?
Well, there's a firm in Slough. I need to know a bit about him.
What firm?
Garage, second-hand cars, Creeley's Autos.
We use a transport firm when we have to deliver large paintings and furniture.
But how well do you know him?
Quite well. Well enough to ask about your people.
Good. Then a bit of discreet information about who Creeley is and how his business is doing would come in very, very handy.
And do I get a pair of handcuffs and a bottle of invisible ink?
And a great big magnifying glass.
Oh, goody.
All Peter's books and things. I was hoping you'd come to collect them.
I'll get Mrs. Coolman to arrange that.
It's not that I want to get rid of them. It's just that they remind me of poor Peter.
You liked him, did you?
Oh, very, very much. He was so different. Refreshing. We all had a lot of fun when he was here.
How do you mean?
This young lady, he'd spend quite a lot of time with her. He used to come here, most of the weekends.
You wouldn't happen to have her name and address, would you?
Oh, I suppose it's all right.
It's for his mother. They never really met, you see.
Of course. Poor woman. I'll go and get it for you.
Thank you.
She's a nice girl. A bit strange. But very kind.
The carpet's very comfortable. What do you think of my room?
Restful.
Peter's idea. A fantasy room. We used to spend hours, days in here, just sitting, talking, thinking, listening to music. Everyone should have a room like this. A black ivory tower.
How did you meet him, Miss Carling?
Jan.
Jan?
Your name?
Frank.
Frank. Frank. Yes, it suits you. I just turned round one day and there he was. I was fated to meet him. Thin Peter, who loved rain and smoked too much.
Did he leave university because of you?
No, he left because he was terrified.
Well, terrified of what?
Of the future.
What, of his own future?
No, you don't understand. Peter's concern was universal, not insular. He suddenly realized that he was allowing himself to become part of the science circus, doing biochemical pratfalls, slinging psychological whitewash. Roll up, see Dr. Peter Kuhlmann in his amazing performing rats.
Was he under stress?
I suppose Mr. and Mrs. John Average would insist that he was quite mad, whatever that means. To me, Peter was one of the very few truly sane people that I've ever met. After our first hour together, we realized we'd known each other for several life cycles. If there were 100 Peters in positions of power spread over this sad circus we call a world, mankind might, just might, stand a chance.
Was she seeing a psychiatrist?
No, Peter grew to totally mistrust psychiatry and its bastard psychology. Like being handcuffed to an idiot. That was how he once described his research.
Did he ever talk about his family?
Never.
Oh, weren't you curious?
Never occurred to me.
Did you and he plan to get married?
What for?
Well, obviously you were both very fond of each other.
The first day I met Peter, I knew that time was precious.
You mean you knew he was suicidal?
Of course.
Or did he talk about it?
He didn't have to. I understood. He knew that people today, Frank, are like animals in the zoo, only their cages are made from words. Words, words. Endless, pointless, careless monkey chatter.
But you obviously sensed something. What was it? Explain.
God, you don't want much, do you?
No, please, this is important. To his mother.
All I can offer is an opinion, for what it's worth.
Well, you were the last person to be with him. Your opinion is probably more valuable than anybody's.
It might not make much sense to you, or her.
No, but it just might.
Peter should have been a bird. He was far too rare a specimen to survive long down here in Cannibal Land. His problem was commitment. If the past is grotesque, the present absurd, the future a grey vacuum, what is there to commit to? Except the possibility of something beyond life. How do we know that death isn't the greatest commitment, the most sublime experience of all? I think Peter decided to search for his soul.
You loved him, didn't you?
I don't know what that word's supposed to mean.
Don't you?
Maybe.
Well, you don't seem unhappy. You don't seem sad.
Should I?
Well, as usual.
Mourn for the living, not the dead. Jem from Jan Carling's Book of Goodies. What do you think of me, then?
You have your dignity.
What a lovely old-fashioned word. Thank you. But you're quite wrong. I'm just as lonely and selfish, greedy and frightened as you. Or the man who sells sausages down the road.
Would you like to meet Peter's mother?
Not really.
Oh.
Is she very sad?
Not so much sad. Puzzled.
Limping with guilt?
Yeah, that's part of it, I suppose.
I can't tell her lies.
She wouldn't want you to.
Does she know about me?
No, not yet.
You have to tell her.
I'd like to.
Does she love rain?
I don't know.
Peter loved rain.
Why don't you ask her? Marker here.
Mr. Marker, listen, I think I've got something for you. One of the drivers from my transport firm used to work for him, and the thing is, Creeley used to be a security guard for Coolman Construction.
Well, well, well.
Do you know why he left?
No, you tell me.
Well, there was a fire, you see.
Wait a minute, a fire? Where?
In one of Coolman's big developments out at Kingston. And funnily enough, it was just after that that Creeley left and started up his own garage.
Get away. When was this?
Oh, sorry. Well, about 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Well, how's that? Do I qualify?
Mr. Creeley, this is him.
Oh, thanks, Dory. I'm Bob Creeley. You're interested in buying 1100, I understand.
Did you find what you wanted?
I'm not with you, Mr.
Marker, in my office this morning.
You must be mistaken, Mr. Marker.
What did Coleman expect you to find?
I don't know what you're on about.
Someone about you and Coleman.
Sorry, I'm a busy man.
Oh, nice place you got here.
Hi, do you want to buy it?
What, about 15,000?
Something like that.
Not bad for an ex-security guard.
What's that supposed to mean?
You heard about Peter Coleman, didn't you?
Who's he?
Oh, come. Creeley, come on.
Friend, you just lose yourself before I...
Before what? You don't know what to do you? You better get on the phone to Coleman and tell him I'm here.
I haven't seen Mr. Coleman in 5 years.
What about Martin Coleman?
No.
What about Peter Coleman?
No!
Thought you never heard of him.
I'm not talking to you. I don't have to.
You left Coolman Construction right after a fire burned out their new development at Kingston, didn't you?
How did you know about that?
Where'd you get the money for this place?
I won some money on the polls.
Easily checked.
Look, I don't know you from Adam. You come sniffing around here under false pretenses, accusing me of all sorts of different things.
Not specific things. Like going through my office this morning, I saw you. Why do you think that Peter Coleman threw himself off that building?
He was a nut from way back.
Oh, you knew him, did you?
I saw him around with his old man.
Didn't they get on?
I don't know anything about that.
5 years ago, Peter Coleman was just 18. 5 years ago, his father died. 5 years ago, they had the fire at Kingston. 5 years ago, you left Coleman Construction and bought this garage. Now, this morning, on somebody's instructions, you went through my office. Now, why? What are you afraid of?
You get out of there with your questions.
Oh, they worry you, do they? I'll be back.
Are you suggesting, Mr. Marker, that this girl got closer to Peter in 4 short months than I did in over 20 years?
It was a totally different kind of relationship.
Probably a reaction to leaving university.
No, you should hear her talk about him. That girl has insight.
You obviously liked her.
Yes, I did.
She sounds rather strange to me.
And a sort of innocence.
So did my son.
Yes, that's what she said.
Did she?
I think your son was happy for those 4 months.
Then why is he dead, Mr. Marker?
I'm sure this girl could help. She did ask to see you.
She didn't attend the funeral?
She has certain beliefs.
Religious?
Philosophical.
I see.
Will you see her?
You seem to have had quite a successful meeting with her, Mr. Marker. There seems little else she could tell me.
I'm convinced you'd both benefit from meeting.
But don't you think it might get a bit mawkish?
No, I don't.
No, I think not, Mr. Marker.
Jan Carling is the only person I met so far who can help you. Why are you so reluctant to meet her?
I don't think I like her.
How can you like or dislike her if you won't even meet her?
This meeting seems very important to you, Mr. Marker.
Do you, Mrs. Coleman? That's her address.
Was this where she and Peter...
Yes. She's expecting you to phone.
We'll see.
I think the time has come for a talk. We must meet. Here? All right, in half an hour's time.
Well, offer him more money.
Everyone has a price?
Something like that.
You've met Marker. What's his price?
Ask him. And what are you going to do?
Find out exactly how much he does know.
But Creeley's already told us that...
He's a fool. A drink?
No, thank you.
Well, Mr. Marker, you tell me what you think you know.
5 years ago, a fire burned out a development of yours at Kingston. I think Peter was responsible. Something to do with his father's death, some kind of gesture, perhaps.
Go on.
I think Creeley knew this, probably even saw Peter near the building at the time of the fire. So you bought Creeley off. I looked in the back numbers of the local paper. The insurance claim was 71,000.
73.
Geoffrey.
Shut up, Martin.
You wanted my inquiry stopped, in case I stumbled onto any of this.
Why do you think I went through all this?
£73,000.
You're so wrong. Coleman Construction would have collected the insurance even if a case of arson would have been proven against Peter.
Then why did you send Creeley to search my office?
I needed to know all about you, and quickly. You just walk into our lives asking questions.
That's my job, is what I was hired to do.
We don't know you, or your motives. Helen was fool enough to trust you.
Well, you don't trust anyone, do you? Not even your own.
What do you want?
I want the truth.
You won't believe it, but I did what I did for Helen. What do you think it would have done to her to find the truth about the fire?
And what would it have done for the business?
All right, all right. My nephew was sick. I tried to protect him, his mother, and the business. Is that so wrong?
You committed a criminal offense.
Don't get all moral with me, Marker. Come prancing in here on your white horse. I had to live with this for 5 years.
What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Nothing, but you've just
Your
said...
mother engaged me to find a motive for your brother's suicide. That's what I've been trying to do. I haven't been trying to screw you for money.
You won't tell Helen?
She's not paying me for that kind of information.
And the police?
You won't regret this.
Don't try and give yourself the satisfaction of buying me. I might change my mind. Come on in then.
Peter's mother came today.
Good. Good. So what's the matter?
I'm pregnant.
Oh,
4 months.
just about right.
Just about wrong. The baby isn't Peter's. I wish it were.
Come and sit down. Did you tell her this?
I couldn't, Frank.
You sure it isn't Peter's?
Positive.
Can you be?
In this case, yes. There was no sexual side to our relationship. He didn't like to be touched, not even kissed. I couldn't tell her that.
Well, what did you say?
Nothing.
What did she say?
She wants me to go and live with her. I'd like to, very much.
You're going to let her believe that this child is her grandchild?
She needs to believe that. And it would be security for the child and me. What do you think?
Oh, you must make up your own mind about that.
I can't alone.
Oh, to hell with you lot.
I'm sorry.
Tell me all this for?
I wanted you to say okay.
Well, let me think about it. I've got to go and see her.
Whatever you decide is all right with me.
Oh, thanks. I'm sorry about the typing.
It's not important. I've asked a great deal of you, Mr. Marker.
I know it's not quite what you'd hoped for.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. No, I'm not disappointed.
And yet?
As you say. And yet. Perhaps one can never understand. Peter's very private reasons for abdicating from life must remain his own. But I should like to have known why.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry.
Perhaps I'm too clinical.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that.
Well, never mind. Thank you, Mr. Marker. 6 guineas a day, wasn't it?
Plus expenses.
Can I let you have a cheque for 40?
Oh, thank you. Very kind.
I saw that girl.
Oh, yes?
She's going to have a child. Peter's child. You knew that, didn't you?
Yes.
She may come here. I should like her to come here.
Yes, sure, that might be very nice. Mrs. Grumman?
Yes?
No. No, I'm sure you're doing the right thing. Goodbye, Mrs. Grumman.
Goodbye, Mr. Marker.
It's all happening this morning, folks. Time check, just coming up to 8:30. But before we go to the newsroom, here's Movie.
I've broken your egg again.
Cards and coppers for you, my girl.
Oh, dear. Thank you. Bye. There's no sauce.
No matter.
Oh, Eddie, I am sorry.
I get enough sauce from you and the kids.
It was on my list. I put it on my list. I know I did.
Mrs. Meadows, I love you.
Eddie, how's the time?
Nearly 22. Ow! Come on, you lot. School! Bye.
Bye.
Calm down.
Mr. Marker?
Yes, right.
Should I have made an appointment?
Did you want to talk to me then?
Well, if it's convenient.
Well, you better come in. Come in, sit yourself down. Mrs.
Meadows, Julia Meadows.
When you're ready then, Mrs. Meadows.
Well, the thing is, I've got someone minding the shop.
Have you?
I said I'd only be 10 minutes. You know what it's like first thing in the morning.
Yeah, vaguely.
And I wondered if you could pop round.
To the shop?
I close between 2 and 3.
This afternoon?
Well, every afternoon, except Wednesdays.
No,
of course.
I mean, you want me to come round and see you this afternoon at about 2 o'clock?
Only he goes away tomorrow, you see.
Who's he?
My husband.
Ah, yeah.
Well, can you?
2 o'clock.
Well, that's it then.
Well, it's a beginning, anyway.
Yes, I've done it. I've actually started the ball rolling.
Mrs. Meadows, just one thing. Where is the shop?
Hello?
Is that Mrs. Meadows?
Yes?
Wife of the famous Edward Meadows?
Oh, Eddie, you are a fool.
This is your secret admirer, Cary Grant. You might remember me. I came in the shop the other day for a bar of fruit and nut. Why I phoned Mrs. Meadows is because I was driving along just now and I thought to myself, I wonder if she knows just how happy she makes me.
You are a fool, Eddie.
That's all I wanted to say, Mrs. M. I'm a very happy man. Now you can go back to work.
See you later, then.
I'll see you later.
Another woman? They can usually tell.
A lot of it goes on, then.
Enough.
He's a good man, a good father and a good husband.
Did you think he's,
I just want to be sure.
Have you said anything to him?
No. He took this suit in for cleaning and asked me to pick it up. Forgot to give me the ticket. I thought it might be in one of his other jackets. And there was this photo, a girl. Written on the back, it said, "Love you, Jenny." She was young, slim, lovely. I can understand it in a way.
Yes, well, photograph could mean anything. Could mean nothing.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, just lately he's been different. As though he's not here. As though there's something on his mind. He's such an open man. He's so, well, just open. And daft in a way. I mean, the things he does. Like this morning, phoning me up just to tell me how happy he was. Things like that. Daft.
Yeah, lots of women would like a husband as daft as that.
He's always been the same. He makes me feel as though I'm doing him a great big favour just by being here.
Been married long?
9 years this Christmas.
How many children?
2, a girl and a boy.
Oh, nice.
They're lovely. Eddie idolises them. Spoils them, really. I suppose it's him being away such a lot.
Oh, he goes away, does he?
His work.
Oh.
He goes all over the country. They pull down these old houses and Eddie buys up the bits and pieces, doors and fireplaces, things like that. He calls himself a high-class totter.
There's a bob or two in it, I should think.
Oh, I don't know what he makes. He gives me so much every week. And if I want any more, I just have to ask. Then there's the shop, of course.
Oh, in your name, is it?
He bought me the lease soon after we were married. He said it would keep me out of mischief.
Yeah, I would have thought a couple of kids would have done that.
Well, we always had help. And now they're both at school, it's a lot easier. He wanted me to be independent, you see. He's a bit older than I am, and he thought that, well, if anything should, happen, I'd be able to stand on my own 2 feet.
How often does he go away?
Every Tuesday.
And comes back when?
Every Sunday.
Ever since you've been married?
Ever since.
Yeah, well, some women would say that wasn't much of a married life.
Some women.
Mrs. Meadows, a man away from home a lot. It's quite on the cards.
I know that.
Why don't you put it to him? Ask him direct.
No.
But if he's as open as you say he is.
No.
Suppose there is a woman. Suppose I find her, prove something. What will you do?
I don't know.
Well, you employ me, it'll cost you 6 guineas a day, plus. Now, you ought to make up your mind while you're spending it.
Well, I just want to know, to be sure. I just want to think that if anything does happen, I'll be ready. And perhaps because I'm ready, not do anything stupid. I'm a woman, Mr. Marker. I feel there's something and I've got to know.
This woman, this girl, could be local, of course.
Oh, no, he wouldn't do that.
Mrs. Meadows, you have no
Anyway,
idea.
there was a sticker on the back of the photograph, the photographer's address. I only remember the name of the town, Northampton. It's one of the places he goes to.
And he goes away tomorrow?
Every Tuesday.
Well, I could strike lucky straight off. Better call it 2 days just to be on the safe side, but longer if I come up with nothing and you still want me to go on. Now, at 6 guineas a day, that could work out...
That's all right.
As long as you know.
Would you like some sweets?
Thanks, yeah.
Oh, any particular sort?
Something minty.
There. I'm not trying to bribe you.
I'll take more than a bag of sweets. Well, perhaps not. Thanks.
That's the funny thing I can never understand about Eddie.
What's that?
Well, every time he goes away, he takes a pile of chocolate with him.
A sweet tooth, is he?
Well, that's just it. He never touches the stuff when he's at home. Chocolate, toffees, none of it.
Yeah, I wonder why.
He says it's compensation.
What for?
For me.
Mrs. Meadows? Are you quite sure?
Yes, Mr. Marker. Quite sure.
All right for tomorrow.
That's a bit tight.
Well, how tight?
How long?
Oh, a couple of days, maybe not even that.
There's a choice of two.
No, one'll do.
Rover 2000 automatic.
Bit pricey.
Or a Dormobile?
Dormobile?
Dormobile.
Well, you mean a...
Well, it's a very handy vehicle.
Yeah, you're a furniture remover.
So, move some furniture. Hello? Tomorrow? Tomorrow's a bit tighter. Hang on a minute, will you?
Usual discount?
Usual. All I can do tomorrow is a Rover 2000.
Automatic? I'm coming to the conclusion that I'm a bit of a fraud.
Who isn't?
Ah, yeah, but I earn my living at it.
Oh.
How? Then I'll tell you. A solicitor hands me a piece of paper. Mr. X is being naughty and Mrs. X wants to prove it. Sure enough, there he is, up to his eyeballs in infidelity. I do my stuff, take my money, and think no more about it. But let Mrs. X contact me direct. Let Mrs. X become more than a name on a piece of paper. Let her show me photographs of the kids. And suddenly, I can't take it.
Life is ugly.
Please. Point is, I get these twinges of conscience from time to time, but I don't know whether I really feel anything or whether I just feel I ought to. Oh, don't mind me. Cheers.
Well, to make you happy, I now have a traffic report. Well, you can't win them all.
There.
God, lovely grub.
I put 2 of those new bars in. He said they're very popular up north.
When I was a kid, you went into a shop, you knew exactly what you wanted, and you got it. Nowadays, there's so much to choose from, you could spend all day.
It's the same with everything.
Give me the days of broken biscuits and bacon off the bone. That's before your time.
I remember.
Well, that coat should be ready.
Oh, yes.
I noticed they got some nice kiddies stuff.
The children are all right, Eddie.
Some nice suede coats, I noticed.
You can't keep buying us clothes, Eddie.
Why not?
Because... I don't know, just because.
The day I can't buy things for you and the kids is the day I break my heart.
What can you say to the man?
Nothing. Kiss, kiss. By God, you're a good-looking woman.
You've cut yourself again.
Huh? If I wasn't a working man, Mrs. M, you'd be in terrible trouble.
Oh, let me help you.
Let's go.
Eddie? I was wondering, I'm a bit short this week.
How much?
15?
15 enough?
Oh, ample.
You sure?
Positive. You never ask. When you give me extra, you never ask why.
Well, you need it. That's good enough.
If only you'd ask just once, just sometime. Oh, Eddie, I'm sorry, I'm just being silly. It must be the change of life.
You sure there isn't something you...
No, Eddie, I'm just being silly.
See you Sunday, then.
See you Sunday.
I'll give you a ring tonight, eh? About 9.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
I want to make a reverse charge call to Windsor, please. Windsor 67810. My name is Meadows, and this is 06048269. Mrs. Meadows? The Mrs. Meadows? This is your travelling man checking in, just to say how much he loves you.
It's late and I haven't booked. I'm sorry.
You're not a bit sorry.
Oh, where?
Just for tonight?
Well, I'm not sure.
Room 4, second landing. Mr.
Marker.
Did someone recommend us?
Chap in Birmingham.
Oh, Chris Harrington.
No, not Harrington. Can't remember his name. Began with a B, I think. Or did it? Anyway, he said he was in machine tools.
Oh, it's not important.
Do I sign the register?
Oh, if you feel the urge.
Do you insist?
On very little. Though I would ask you to take your boots off before getting into bed.
I'll do that, I promise. Second floor, you said?
Yes. Have you eaten?
Yes.
Oh, anything to drink?
No, just a good night's sleep, that's all.
Any particular time in the morning?
Well, not so early.
8 o'clock with tea?
Perfect.
Right. The breakfast is in there, and
All right.
10 o'clock is the absolute limit.
That's what they all say. Mostly travellers, I suppose.
Mostly, yes. Good night.
Good night. Best breakfast I've had for years.
Good.
My compliments to the chef.
Well, compliments gratefully received.
Oh, do you?
Bacon and eggs aren't that difficult.
Yeah, but there are bacon and eggs and bacon and eggs. Staff must be a bit of a problem these days.
I don't keep any.
You do it all yourself?
I'm one of those irritating people who organises things.
I can see that.
Flattery or insult?
A simple observation. Delicious honey.
Yes, it's from the hives.
You keep bees?
And I grow the vegetables and the fruit.
But all yourself?
Terrible for the male ego, isn't it?
Oh, what do you do in your spare time? Build tractors?
I paint. I also make these. I might even try and sell you some.
You know something? You might even succeed.
I'm up then.
Oh, what time tonight?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm going to the Stevens
Oh,
place.
your tie isn't straight. Come
Get
here.
away.
Here, there.
Got your present.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
I forgot to give it to you last night. I had something on my mind. Good morning.
Good morning.
Terrible sweet tooth.
Oh, yeah.
Off.
Started when she was carrying.
Oh, I hate that expression.
Pregnant. Not the first, the second. Edward, she says. Edward, I fancy something sweet. You got me? I says. Chocolate, she says. You know what? Now she can hear a rapper coming off at 300 yards.
Go and earn some money. Come on.
Cheers.
Cheerio. Quite a character.
Oh, Eddie? Yes, he never changes. I think he's really the only innocent human being I've ever met.
Is he?
Guileless. Completely lacking any form of guilt. Like a child, really. It's probably why I married him. At least it's the only reason I can think of.
But I don't know your name, Mrs.
Meadows. Adele Meadows.
Mrs. Meadows, I think it's a bit more complicated than we thought.
Have you found anything yet?
No, not yet.
Only I've been thinking. She might be one of his clients, mightn't she? I mean, he meets a lot of women in his work. He's bound to, really, and it might be one of his clients, mightn't it?
I mean, it might be nothing at all. You know, the sort of silly things people write on the back of photos, especially women. I mean, it might be nothing at all. Hello?
You're most probably right, Mrs. Meadows.
What did you mean when you said more complicated?
Oh, it's just that he moves around a lot. His business, you know, he's a difficult man to keep tabs on. That's all I meant. Might take just a bit longer than we thought at first. That is, if you still want me to go on.
Well, yesterday No, I must know one way or the other.
Right, well, I'll be in touch then.
Yes.
Oh, Mrs. Meadows? Don't worry. There's no point in...
No. Thank you, Mr. Marker.
I've been admiring your garden.
It's a lovely day. Morning off.
Cancelled meeting.
In to lunch.
Please. I still don't see how you do it.
What, this?
Oh, this. Owning a guest house, looking after a family.
Oh, my family looks after itself.
What, even the children?
Oh, my daughter's old enough to have a life of her own, and my son is at boarding school most of the year. So, no problems.
Yes, but from what you said about your husband...
Ah, yes. Yes, you're right. Yes, there is something wrong with that pot. I can't think what it is. Yes, now, Eddie does need looking after, but even that's been organised. His work takes him away most of the week.
Oh, has he always had to go away?
Yes, ever since I've known him.
You don't mind that?
Mind? He'd drive me crazy if he was here all the time. No, it suits me very well. Perhaps not some, but it suits me.
Yeah, I'm not married, you see. I can never bring myself to ask a woman to put up with my kind of life. Moving about all the time, never at home.
Oh, if she loved you, she'd put up with it.
Yes, there's that, I suppose.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Marker. There's that.
You've been running this place long?
Oh, after the children went to school, 11 years ago. Eddie suddenly found himself with a bit of extra money, so he bought this place for me.
To keep you out of mischief?
His very words.
Give you some sort of independence in case anything happened to him?
You've been talking to him.
But just guessing. The male mind. So you must have seen quite a few changes. Here, Northampton.
Oh, well, everywhere changes. Why?
Just interested.
Bored.
And me?
You, kicking your heels.
Sorry.
Don't be. I see it all the time.
Travellers.
My bread and butter.
What did you do before this?
Oh, I ran a tea shop in Woburn Lane. Very oldie-worldy. My God, it must have been awful.
Well, have you forgotten?
Almost. I couldn't quite. That's where I met Eddie.
Ah.
He broke a milk jug. And I'd had such an awful day that I burst into tears. And then in the evening, there he was, with a bunch of sweet peas. He took me to the pictures. Greer Garson. I remember I cried again. Poor Eddie. He must have been soaking wet.
How long before you married?
2 months.
Locally?
In the town hall. A beautiful day in August. Tuesday. And then, on Friday, he was off again. My parents thought I'd gone mad.
What, marrying a part-time husband?
Marrying a man 12 years older than myself. Good God, Adele, my father used to say. What do you know about the man? 2 months. Huh. Not enough. Not enough.
Was it? In 47, August.
Don't get people checking the marriage register.
No.
Oh, perfectly entitled to, of course. Just don't seem to get much call for it.
No.
No. Not the police, is it?
No, I would have said.
Detective.
No?
Private detective.
Do I look like a private detective?
Well, I had this girlfriend once. Well, not really a girlfriend. An acquaintance. Well, she had this uncle who was a private detective. Well, not really a detective. Well, he was really. Yes, a store detective, you know, in a big store.
You got a pencil?
Huh?
Thanks. August 23rd, 1949. Now we know.
What?
They were married.
Who?
My parents.
Oh.
That'll stop the rumours.
You mean?
Oh, yes. Have a bullseye.
Oh, thank you.
Coffee?
No, not tonight, love. No, I got a busy day tomorrow.
Busier still this time next week.
Oh, I never thought you'd be nervous.
Neither did I.
I get butterflies every time I think about it myself.
It's the first time for both of us.
Give your mother a ring. She'll put you straight.
I'm going over tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
I've been so busy this week, really.
What with me, keeping you to myself.
Oh, they understand.
Making the most of it.
Dear old Mum. She never fusses or interferes. She's always there if I need her. Oh, it's sad, really, how families drift apart.
Well, nobody's drifting apart. The chicks are leaving the nest, which is what life is all about. Oh, I should know. The amount of fluttering about I've done.
Oh, you.
Me?
You're hopeless, you are.
Come here. You are going to look very beautiful at that church next week.
Registry office.
It's the same difference.
I love you.
Good evening. I was looking for something to read.
Can't sleep?
Yeah, don't know why.
I think she keeps a few magazines under here. Looking after you, is she?
Couldn't be better.
First time here?
Yes, first time.
1 in a million, my wife.
I can believe that.
Here you are, try thumbing through that lot. You'll find everything there from pottery to pig breeding, and she knows a bit about all of them.
Thanks.
What line are you in?
Furniture.
Oh, similar game herself.
Yes, she said. Your wife.
Oh, yes. Ah. Well, leave for bed. Off again tomorrow. Excuse me.
Oh, I thought your wife said you were here till Sunday.
No, Thursday.
Oh, must have misunderstood.
Every Thursday. Back Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm off myself tomorrow.
Oh, yes?
Up north.
Oh.
Yeah. What about you?
Cheltenham. Well, good night.
Good night. No, it's all right, thanks. I'm just...
Yes, of course.
Is this honey?
Oh, it's not for sale. It must have been left there by mistake.
Oh, well, they'll come back for it, I dare say.
Oh, no. It belongs to Mrs. Meadows. She loves her honey.
Mrs. Meadows?
The owner.
Oh, was that her I just saw leaving?
That's right. Her husband was just taking her out to lunch.
Oh, that was her husband, was it?
The bringer of the honey.
No, Teddy.
Constance,
I've had quite sufficient.
just a drop. Help me finish the bottle.
No, Teddy.
Oh, it's a funny old life, one way and another, Connie. Me, us, sitting here. Same table, same food, same wine for the past, oh, God knows how many years.
We're part of the furniture.
The Thursday furniture. Nothing changes, always the same. You with your one glass of wine and no more.
You with your dreadful steak and kidney pudding.
That's it. That's exactly it, Constance. It is as if we have made time stand still.
We're getting old, Teddy.
There's plenty of time yet.
I've never made demands on you. Perhaps if there'd been children... What I dread more than anything is that I should
Connie.
ever... I'm older than you are, Teddy. These things have got to be
Please.
talked...
It's my fault. I can't drink half as much as I think I can. That's my trouble.
How many times do I tell you?
Yes, you're right. As always. Change the subject, eh? Is that coat ready yet?
Came in yesterday.
Oh, lovely. And I spoke to my other friend about those kiddies' coats. He's rather keen on the sheepskin.
Have you got the measurements?
All written down.
Teddy, you are selling these coats.
Of course I am.
Yes. Only I know you far too soft.
You charge me trade, I charge them trade. I do them a favor, they do me a favor.
When did you ever ask anyone for a favor?
You'd be surprised, Mrs. M. Now, listen, it's 2:30. Now, I did not buy you the lease of that classy establishment just so that you could sit there getting drunk, shouting abuse at an elderly, a very, very elderly... Waiter.
67810.
Yes, this is the sort of thing he's after.
I'll have to order it.
Oh, it's all right. There's no rush. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed.
Are you going to take it now?
Why not?
Leave it on the rack, Julian.
Yes, Mrs. Meadows.
Knowing you, you'd probably lose it. You can take it just before you go back on Sunday.
What's the damage?
Oh, we'll settle up later.
Oh, no, you know me, Mrs. M. I like to keep things neat and tidy. Now, how much? What's this, then? You're following me?
That's right, Mr. Meadows. From Windsor to Northampton to Cheltenham. Or, putting it another way, from wife to wife to wife.
Thanks.
What do you do at Christmas?
Christmas?
You got 3 families. How the hell do you manage Christmas?
Oh, well. Christmas Day with the youngest children, Christmas Eve with Adele, and Boxing Day with Connie.
And they accept that?
Yes.
Never ask questions?
No.
And why not?
Because they know that when I go away, it's because I've got to.
You must have a mind like a filing cabinet computer.
Yes, I suppose I must.
You never made a mistake?
I don't know. Probably. Well, I mean, if I hadn't, you wouldn't...
Yes, all right. You really take the biscuit, you know that? I mean, you really take the biscuit. I'll tell you something. I feel guilty. Me. Just knowing. Oh, say something, for God's sake.
Well, I used to have this dream. I dreamt I had an accident, a bad accident. I'm lying in hospital and the doctor says, not to worry, old chap. We've informed your next of kin. Visiting day, the doors open, and there they are, all of them. Flowers and chocolates, advancing towards the bed, looking at each other, all wondering, and waiting for me to supply the answer. It's funny in a way.
Oh, scream.
The thing is that over the years it's changed. The dream. I'm no longer ill. I'm dead.
I just don't understand. How the hell do you cope?
Cope?
What with the practical details? 3 wives, 3 families. How the hell do you cope?
I cope because of them. Because they accept me for what I am.
Oh, you're kidding.
It's true.
For what they think you are.
No, for what they know.
You really believe that, don't you?
Yes.
You're a bigamist. A criminal.
No, not a criminal.
You've got 3 wives.
And I love them. And my children. And they love me.
That's no justification.
Well, to me, it justifies everything.
What a bloody mess.
Well, I don't expect you to understand.
Don't patronize me, for God's sake.
No. I mean, I don't understand myself. It just happened. There was nothing planned. I sort of drifted into it. I suppose in an odd sort of way. I thought I was making honest women of them.
But you did a damn good job.
And I loved them. They all give me something. I suppose in a way I'm like a big kid. Someone gives and I take.
I'd write that down if I were you before you forget it. Use it in court. You're bound to get off.
You're going... Well, you've got to.
What I've got to do is to report back to your wife. Sorry, the Windsor edition. After all, she's the one that started getting suspicious about your girlfriend.
Girlfriend? What girlfriend?
Oh, come on.
Well, no, I mean, I thought you found out about one of the others.
Oh, no, that pleasure's to come.
Then I don't understand.
Your computer developed a fault. She found a photograph in your pocket. Love you, Jenny.
Jenny?
Yeah. Number 4 on the list, or just a passing fancy?
Jenny's my daughter. By Adele. She's getting married. Yes, one of my children is getting married. And suddenly there's a whole new generation of lying round the corner. And Connie. Suddenly I'm aware that she's getting old. She's going to need me.
It's a pity you didn't think of that, 30 years ago?
Oh, yes, I know. I mean, there's no excuse. No excuses. Sooner or later, the whole thing is going to come crashing down. In fact, it started already. If only there was a way that
Oh, don't come on with the self-pity, for God's sake. It won't wash. I thought I'd stopped being surprised. But you, ladling out love like a soup kitchen. But no matter what you say, it's for you, not them, I tell you. Well, I don't care about you. I've got to go back and face that woman. I've got to look her in the eye and maybe tell her that her 2 children are bastards. And that turns my stomach over.
You said, maybe tell her.
I've got an alternative. Easier for her, easier for me. But the rest of the mess, you clear up yourself.
Good night. Sorry about that.
Part of the game. Well, I found the girl, one in the photograph.
Oh.
And she's his daughter. Yeah. He'd been married before. Well, he didn't want to tell you because, well, I don't know. I suppose he thought it might upset you, you not being his first wife.
Daughter?
Yeah. You asked me to check up on the girl in the photograph. I have. That's the answer.
But he could have told me. Daft Apeth, he could have told me.
Are you going to tell him?
Did I know?
Hmm.
Well, yes, why?
Oh, I wouldn't say anything about it if I were you. He's chosen not to tell you. But now you know. You tell him how you know, and...
Won't be easy.
Oh, I'd try if I were you, Mrs. Meadows. I really would try. If there's any explaining to do, let him do it.
I want to make a reverse charge call to Northampton. A reverse charge call to Cheltenham, please.